Humans, for the most part, don't have a clue. They don't want one or need one either. They're happy. They think they have a good bead on things. Years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat. And 15 minutes ago, you knew that people were alone on this planet. Humans, for the most part, don't have a clue. For the most part, don't have a clue. They don't want one or need one either. They're happy. They think they have a good bead on things. 1,500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat. And 15 minutes ago, you knew that people were alone on this planet.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Invictus Racing League Formula 2 League and round 10 of the 12-round season. This time coming to you from the streets of Azerbaijan, Baku, whatever you want to call it. It is a fantastic circuit, 20 corners, 3.7 miles, most of them right-angled, stop and start stuff we can expect here today. And obviously with the walls so close together, we can also probably expect at least one or two incidents throughout the evening, but whether of course we get those incidents or not, we'll have to wait and see. It's a night of new beginnings and also a night of potentially climactic endings, and I am your commentator, a new voice hopefully for the Invictus Racing League in the foreseeable future. My name is Lightshot16. You can also call me Mark, that's fine. You'll see me in the game as TES LS16, the TES standing for a group that I belong to. And speaking of TES, my co-commentator tonight is also a member of that group. I don't actually know if he's here. He has not said a word since I got him into the party, but I will introduce him anyway. He is a fellow racer like myself. We both race in different leagues, and he is a very competent racer and also a very enthusiastic commentator. So I do give my welcome to TES Madman95. If you're there, please say hello. Okay, he's not there yet. I'll have to wait for him to... Oh god, he's just left the party, which is really handy. Really good timing. Oh no, he's back. He's back. Hang on. There we go. Hello. How are we tonight?
We're all good. There seems to be some technical issues that I have now fixed with my expert leave and rejoin skills.
Fantastic. Well, that's all you need, really, isn't it? Just the ability to leave and join. That's all you really need. So how are you tonight, Madman?
I am very well. Yourself?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm looking forward to this. Obviously, this being a completely new experience, both for myself and for you as well. We don't really know any of the drivers in here, but that's not necessarily...
I don't know who to expect.
Exactly, yeah, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Not knowing, you know, the unexpected can always be a pleasant surprise as well as a culture shock in many ways. So we'll just have to wait and see as qualifying is about to get underway. So as I said in the intro, we could potentially be crowning a new champion tonight in the F2 division on our first night, Madman. How do you fancy that?
Well, it does sound. It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's a fascinating.
Yes.
Prospect.
Very fascinating indeed. I've actually put the championship permutations in the stream right now for you to see. So the current leader, in fact I'll actually quickly start to the driver standings at the moment. The current leader is Fairmoto in the Racing Point, and he has a very commanding lead, it has to be said. 102 points, with his nearest rival being Farfu 11 on 65 points. So a 37 point gap. Now, obviously, the point system is a little bit different as well in IRL. It is still 10 places. The top 10 finishes still score points, but where's that screen gone? Oh, there it says. Sorry, I lost it. So basically, it's a 15 points only for a race win, down to 1 point in 10th, with it going 15, 12, 10. 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So in that instance, so these are the ways that Fairmoto can win. He has to either, if he can win the race or finish second, he'll definitely be championship. If he finishes third with the fastest lap, he will win the title like that as well. Barring that, if he can beat Farfu, Dan, and Botch Gerbil, he will also win the title there. And then obviously there's some, you can see 4 points. Farfu has to score him by 4 points. Dan has to outscore him by 9 points. Farfu doesn't outscore him by more than 14 points. I think that's actually meant to be Botch Gerbil, but that's fine.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've just looked at the little sheet we had to go over some notes, and yeah, it is Botch Gerbil, 14 points.
That's the one. Yeah, that's a little mistake, but that's no worries. We're all prone to mistakes. I know I'm definitely going to make some tonight. I am really nervous, I have to be honest.
I make about 3 a week, you know, one on Friday, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, so, you know.
Yes, I do know that very well, absolutely. So, qualifying is now underway then. So, obviously, it's a short qualifying format, meaning it's basically just try and get as high up the grid as possible on whatever tyre you choose. So, what do you think we could see here, Madman? Do you think most people will qualify on the softs, or do you think some people might try the medium tyres?
I think you'll probably get quite a lot of people going on the softs, mostly for track position, but the medium tyres are definitely the way to go here, because as good as the softs are, you're not getting that many laps out of them.
Absolutely. So we've got a few drivers starting their lap times. I believe the first one is Bayside Snake in the Williams. Followed closely by Brad SR in the AlphaTauri, and then we've got Peach 78 in the mediums. I have been told some of the names have interesting pronunciations, which you've probably seen as well. We'll get to those when we get to them. We'll stay on board with the Williams for now, though, of Bayside Snake. He's got a few cars ahead of him, but
very tidy for that chicane there, actually. I'll have to admit.
He's looking very solid so far, definitely, as he comes through the very slow part of the corner, now towards the dreaded castle section. This is surely going to catch some people out tonight, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We've all had a running there ourselves at any point.
Absolutely. I mean, we both know what it's like to have incidents here, and it's very easy to do. We got a yellow flag. Oh, that's in the castle section, and that's the Haas of... I don't know if it's Peach or Smully. That's how you pronounce that name. I saw the yellow flag, but it's gone now, so we'll stay on board with Bayside as he's coming towards the final sector, which is basically just a blast down the straight, along with a little bit of a chicane here, which, in all honesty, you should be able to take fairly convincingly flat, which Bayside has done.
As long as you keep your input as low as possible. If you do too much input, the car can lose its back end and you'll win the wall.
Well, first lap time...
The lap itself looked quite steady. I don't think it's going to be a 1-2-1.
However, the man behind him, Brad SR, 38.7, a much more convincing lap time by the AlphaTauri behind him, perhaps getting a very nice toe actually.
Yeah, I wonder if he benefited from that toe because it was very close actually as they crossed the line.
Very potentially. Here comes Daniel in the Renault. So let's see what he does in comparison. Only a 40.1, so 1.4 seconds off the pace. Bots Gerbil, who is still just about in the title hunt, comes second, 39.3.
Daniel's gone very deep into the first corner, inventing a new racetrack, I think.
Jamie in the Red Bull, 39.9. He sets. His teammate is just coming up, Matt Wenz. We'll stick with Matt's for that one, I think. He's actually invalidated as a lap, though, so this will not be a time.
Did any of those medium runners out? No, they're all in the pits.
Yeah, so Peach, I think, was the one that had the incident at Castle, and he's come back into the pit. So Smully is now coming towards the checkered flag.
It doesn't look very... Yeah,
45.8. So, yeah, it doesn't look as though he may have aborted that one, perhaps. It's always hard to tell, obviously, if they've aborted or not. Usually we can tell by the ERS counter on the wheel, but he's only got about half left.
Like, the Racing Point who's out on a lap, I can't pronounce his
DJ Mates? Diaz Mates.
Yes.
But it's Fairmoto that crosses the line first. 38.8 for the championship leader and the man who, as I said, could be crowned champion tonight. Fairmoto, with the 37-point gap he has. It will take a bit of a bad result from him and a good result from the likes of Bots Gerbil. Who else is in that? Farfu is in that bat as well. And I think the other one is it Barnaby? That's Dan 23, who I don't see his name, so I don't think he's here tonight.
No.
In which case, so it's down to Farful and Gerbil to try and stop Moto from being crowned. But that's a very good lap time by Moto. P2 for the moment, and I don't think he got the same toe that Brad SR may have got.
Yeah, I will say one thing as well, though. You know, his rivals won't want to hear me say this, but he has won 4 out of the last 5 races.
He has indeed. He is looking very, very strong. It's only Hungary, the last race, which was round 9. He had a bit of a tricky race there. I believe he only came home in 8th place that race.
Yeah, Hungary's a bit of a difficult one. We just had that on Sunday, and some people enjoyed it, some people didn't. Some people were stuck in trains. You know, I'm not going to mention names, but
yes, I think we know all too well what it's like to be stuck in a train at Hungary, and it's not. I wouldn't say it's not fun, but it's definitely not ideal.
No,
so
it's
perhaps
a
that
different kind of
happened.
challenge. It's not a track where you can overtake as easily, and you just need to pick your moments. And sometimes you just got to send it.
Absolutely. As I'm on board with Farfu, obviously one of the only men who can stop Fair Moto from claiming the title today. His laps look fairly solid so far. AlphaTauri are, although the drivers' standings is a little bit swayed, the constructors is anything but. Constructor-wise, it is still very much open, as AlphaTauri are in a desperate fight with Racing Point.
Yeah, 2 points in it.
2 points in it, with Ferrari not far behind, as Farfu sets a 39.8, so perhaps the time wasn't as quick as I was expecting it to be. But yeah, Ferrari are very much in that fight as well. They're only 7 points back from AlphaTauri and 9 points back from Racing Point, so constructor-wise, it's still very much an open playing field, as here come the Ferraris, in fact. Leclerc following behind RS F1 Maniac. Maniac goes... Yeah, Maniac goes 4th, Leclerc 8th, 39.6 and a 40.2 respectively.
That Maniac's gone straight on again. I say again, that's the second car I've seen do that now.
Yeah, now who else is on a lap? Is that Alpaca Carbon? Yes, it is. Alpaca Carbon coming through the final chicane, now onto the back straight. So what can the Mercedes do in terms of lap time? 38.7 is the current gauntlet laid down by Brad. What can Alpaca Carbon do? 39.4 goes P4, just behind Bots Gerbil.
That's not a bad time. I'm just on board with PJ78, the only guy out on the medium.
Very much.
He's just past a Renault in the wall, actually.
So I've just had a look on the Discord, on IRL's Discord, and I've just been informed of the weather. Qualifying is dry. Race heavy rain. So
you want to qualify on the softs.
Does say the rain will lighten as the race goes on, but now I think we can see why most people are probably out there on the soft tyres. We've actually got a retirement, which I didn't see. It's Barnaby in the McLaren.
Yeah, as PJ drove past in towards the third sector, just saw him in the wall, so he must have lost it coming out of whatever turn that was. Should really get the crap back up. Excuse me.
That's alright, no worries, no rush. We're good. Like I said, this is never going to be the easiest intros to the league. I'd like to think we're doing an alright job so far, but let's see how we get on as we go. As I'm on board with DZ Mates. He's coming into the final sector towards the flat out chicane. He's taking that very nicely.
Did look very smooth when I got there.
Very nicely indeed. Now full power down the straight. DRS flap open, as you can see by the wing mirrors down below. 39.8 set, so he goes P6. Just behind RS F1 Maniac and the man who needs a good result today, Farfu 11. Now obviously we do have to remember, like, perhaps knowing the weather, some of these drivers may well have gone for a wet setup.
That's what I was about to say, and you know, some people can be really quick in the dry and nowhere in the wet. You know, I myself am one of those people. I cannot fathom wet conditions. Don't even want to talk about them. So I can imagine some people here are looking at the rain and going, "This isn't going to be a good one."
No, I agree completely. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see who thrives in the rain and who doesn't. For now though, dry qualifying, as I believe that is that Brad? Oh, coming back into the pits is Brad. What about, is that Peach coming into the pits as well on the medium, so not setting a lap time. Daniel, he is going to complete a lap time in the Renault. Goes P5, 139.5. Is 0.6 of a second improvement, so some pace found by the Renault there. Is this Matt's coming into the pit, so he's aborting this lap. Not happy with it for some reason or another, so Matt comes in.
On board of the Mercedes of DXT Jojo, who's just about to finish his lap rather. He looked tidy from where I've been on board. He'd come out of the castle section, looked pretty tidy. Did get a bit of wheel spin out of turn 15 though.
Well, what can the Mercedes do then? His teammate is P4. Where can DXT put himself? P5 right behind him. 0.06 of a second.
That is close. Separating
the Mercedes duo as they lock out P4 and P5. Second and third rows occupied. So Fairmoto is retired up as well, and I think that's in the pit lane. So he clearly doesn't think.
There was a yellow flag as the Mercedes came back through.
But meanwhile, speaking of Racing Points retiring, I've just got on board with DZ Mates to see him have a massive spin at turn 2, and the wheel is off, and sadly he will be going no further in qualifying.
Oh yeah, I've just seen that accident there.
Oh dear, oh dear. Well, that's both racing. No, that's both Racing Points now out. I didn't see if Fairmoto crashed or not.
It didn't look like he crashed on track, unless he's maybe crashed coming out the pit lane. Maybe, I don't know. I didn't see anything.
Potentially. I just didn't see it. Barnaby, I believe, not happy in the Discord. He's saying he just cannot do this track, so he clearly does not feel at home here in that Renault. Not
yeah, see,
Renault.
I was going to say, this track is one of those tracks. It's very misleading in the fact that you think it'll be quite simple, that you just go around the corners, get as close to the walls as you can. But it's the track that this track has very bad traction for your wheels. You've got to get the acceleration just right, otherwise you can lose a lot of time.
You're absolutely right. It's also very punishing on the rear tyres in particular here. So the rears, you'll feel the back end step out very easily, especially when your tyres are gone. And yeah, it's deceptively hard on tyres. I mean, I suppose it is quite a long track. I think there's only a couple of tracks that have a longer race time. In fact, it may only be Belgium, in fact, thinking on it.
Yeah, Belgium's are nice.
Yeah, on board with Scrub. That's how you pronounce the name of the McLaren driver going through the chicane now. I can see it. Yeah, R-U, yeah. I can see the R and B.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was going, I can see that the 1-3 is definitely, or I-3 is definitely a B. The 12?
It looked a bit weird, but I can see it now as he goes a 40.2. Doesn't improve his position, although he does improve his time. He gets out of the way of... Yeah, so let's stay on board with the Red Bulls. He comes into turn 2 then. Like I said, a lot of right angle corners on this track. You've got to be very, very steady on the throttle through them. Now the DRS wide open as he powers down this smaller DRS straight. Still a potential overtaking spot in the dry. We'll have to see how it can be in the rain. Another right angled left turn there. He's taking it very nicely. Another right angled... Yeah, looking good so far as Mats now comes towards the end of Sector 1. This chicane here, very tricky. You've got to be so careful to hit those apexes right and get the traction going. He's looked fairly consistent and steady so far. Now onto the slowest part of the track. This tight chicane here, you've got to nail it absolutely right and make sure not to put too much wheel spin. Now through the dreaded castle section, a bit of a wobble, but still going very smoothly. Right, then left, now onto what I affectionately know as Ericsson's fault corner here as we go through this long left-hander. Ericsson's fault? No, I don't think so, not that time, as now downhill braking into this tricky left-hander. Many different lines you can take there. That he's decided to ride the curb a little bit. We'll have to see how that favours him at the end of the lap. Now onto Sector 3, which is basically flat out looking purple. Don't always trust what the track map says. It's not always accurate. Comes through the chicane. He's taken that pretty much flat. Very nicely done. And the Red Bull is finally about to set a lap time. He's the only one still running yet to set a lap time. That is about to change though. Powers down the straight. DRS wide open as Mats crosses the line. It's a 39.0, so good. Red Bull third row then, as Jamie has improved as well to a 39.0. 400 separating them, so just as close as the Mercedes duo.
I wonder if that was an actual purple when he's lost out all on the straight, because you think Brad SR had that toe, didn't he?
Very possibly.
Look at the race director.
Yeah, you can do that. I must make sure I focus on the action. So if any time we need to look at the race director, that's on you. All right?
Yeah, I'm all on that. No, it wasn't a true purple actually. It's a 40.1. So.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 2 temps in it for that.
on board now with the Ferrari of RS F1 Maniac, currently P10. We'll be hoping to find a little bit more pace if we can. Oh, he's got a Haas that's in the escape road, but I don't think that will have put him off too badly. He asked me to make sure to get his good side, and ooh, that's not particularly a good side there.
That'd be a wingy damage, maybe.
Let's have a look. It'll be on the left side. No,
Looks
I think he's
okay.
got. Yeah, I think he's got. Oh, he's scraping. He's pushing hard.
Again, he's really trying to get all the limits, isn't he?
Yeah, he is trying to push these track limits, and obviously this being a street circuit, if you get the limits wrong, it can be game over. But he's just about staying as Matt stays out of his way. He's looking
That
ragged.
castle section looked very, very tidy though. Out of all the laps, it looked the tidiest part.
It did so far, which is not easy to do. As Brad retires, I believe that's in pit lane. I don't see a crashed AlphaTauri anywhere, so he doesn't think he can improve on that 38.7, which still having P1 unless someone else can find a rapid time. Can RSF1 find
He's
any
backed
points?
out. He's just gone to 0 ERS.
Ah, so is he going to go give it another try then?
Yeah, maybe.
He's not, no, he's not going to have the time because we're the qualifying session. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and that is it for qualifying. So RSF1 will not be improving his position.
Yeah, he took a lot of inside curve at turn 15.
Neither will
launched the car into the air, so
the Haas duo
all of his time.
will not be improving either. Smully's backed out, as has Daniel, who's in P9.
Well, I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah, I saw. I think Smully was in the wall. I'm not sure if he ended up getting in the way of Daniel's lap or not. I would have to. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But here come the Red Bulls. Now, there's a bit of towing going on here. I think Matt's might be trying to give Jamie 29 the best chance he can give him. Across the line then for the Red Bull. Oh, he does not improve. Only just doesn't improve. Stays P6. That is unfortunate. Now, what about the Mercedes? Well, neither of them are on laps, so it's down to the Alfa Romeo of Botched Gerbil. Can he find any more pace in that Alfa Romeo? He's all currently P3. Can he find 100th of a second to beat Fair Motor? Can he find a little bit more to beat Brad SR? Yes, he can! He can find a lot more to go P1 by more than half a second. Fantastic lap by the Alfa Romeo. And I don't think... Yep, Smully is 15 seconds down in his Delta, so he won't be... Well, 34 seconds now, so it's gone even higher now. I don't believe Daniel... Yep, he's 19 seconds down on his Delta as well. So I believe that is that for qualifying then. So it is the Alfa Romeo of Botched Gerbil taking the top spot. Brad SR second. Bear Moto, the championship leader and potential champion tonight, third. His rival, though, did improve. Farfu got within 500ths of a second of him to go P4. So, oh, we got a tasty looking grid.
All to play for today.
Very much so, but it's definitely in the Racing Point's hands to lose. So we'll have to wait and see how he does. I can see a few guys in the chat, a few guys I recognise. Hello, Roland. Hello, Sloppy. I hope you enjoy the racing tonight. So it is Botched Gerbil on pole, Brad SR second, Fair Moto third, Farfu fourth, then the Red Bull duo of Matt and Jamie sixth, the Mercedes duo of Alpaca Carbon and DXT Jojo seventh and eighth, Daniel ninth, and RS F1 Maniac rounding out the top 10. I will do another rundown of the grid before we get underway, of course. So, Madman, what did you make of that?
Well, I was going to say the pole position was a bit of a shock because Will thought Brad SR had done it with his toe he got, but I've just had a look at the race director, and Botched Gerbil had an amazing middle sector, and when I jumped on board he was 5 tenths up, so I think he's gained all of his time there. I want to say it's a bit of a shock, but we don't really know what the relative pace of anyone is, so we're all just guessing at this point.
Especially considering we know the conditions that we're facing. We don't know what kind of setups people have gone for, and there we go. There is confirmation. Look at that rain. That is looking very, very treacherous indeed. So,
we both know one driver who would love those conditions, though.
Oh yes, we do indeed. Unfortunately, he is only a spectator today. So I'll do a quick rundown of the full grid then. So it is pole position for Botched Gerbil, who is still just about in the title fight. He will need a very good result today though, but he's put himself in the best position on P1. Brad SR in the AlphaTauri sits P2 ahead of the championship leader, the man who could win the title tonight, Fair Moto in P3. Farfu, his nearest challenger, right behind him in the other AlphaTauri in P4. Then the Red Bull duo of Mats and Jamie 29, P5 and P6 respectively. We've got a quick ready up. Oh god, what's going on here? Who readied up there? I'm not sure. Alpaca Carbon 7th, DXT Jojo 8th, Daniel 9th, RS F1 Maniac 10th, DZ Mates 11, Leclerc 12th, Scrub 13th, Peach 14th, Smully 15th, Bayside Snake 16th, and Barnaby, who has not enjoyed this track at all. He will be starting this race from 17th and last position.
Oh, session starting. I was going to say, while I was doing that rundown, I had a quick look. AlphaTauri are in P2 and P4. I wonder if Brad SR is going to try and help out his teammate here, because obviously he's got the championship lead right behind him, but behind that is his teammate. So I wonder if he's going to maybe try and slow him down and just get his teammate ahead.
Potentially. Obviously, we don't know exactly what kind of strategies people will do. Obviously, we don't even know what kind of tyres to expect, but by the looks of things...
someone's lost it on the formation lap.
Oh, who's that? That is... Oh, it's the Red Bull of Matt Swens, who's recovering now. Fortunately, he's ghosted, so no one's hit him. So intermediate tyres is what everyone is starting on. I wasn't quite expecting them to ready up so quickly. I'm not sure if that was someone doing it or if that was purposed. But and Matt's has gone again. Oh, he's not liking these conditions at all, is he?
Smiley under the VS, well, the formation lap, not the VSC. Smiley will not be happy. I mean, I guess in the damp conditions, tyre warm up is not hugely affected because the tyres don't really get up to such a high temperature anyway, so
potentially, but obviously you still got to make sure there's some heat in them, because cold tyres in the wet, you do not want that.
No, 100% not. I think with the conditions they might even be even colder.
So let's just go over the driver standings one more time. So 102 points for Fair Moto, 65 for Farfu, Dan 23, who's not here tonight, he's on 60, Botched Gerbil 55, Leclerc 16 on 53. Then we've got RSF1 Maniac 44, DXT Jojo 7th place on 40 points, Mats Wenz on 39 points, Brad AFC, which could be Brad SR, I'm not quite sure, because it is an AlphaTauri, so he's on 38 points in 9th, and rounding out the top 10 is Ricardo, who is not here either, on 23 points. So, and in terms of the constructors, 106 points for Racing Point, most of which have come from Fair Moto. Then 104 for AlphaTauri, Ferrari on 97, Williams 60, Alfa Romeo 57, Mercedes 55, Red Bull 51, McLaren 45, Renault 26, and Haas still yet to get off the mark. So, still a lot to play for, even outside of the main championship fight. Still a lot to play for, and I've only got one question for you, Ryan. Who do you think is going to win this race?
I think I want to say Farfu's going to win it. I think he's got the most he has to prove, and if he wants to keep this title fight going, he's got to go for it, I think.
Yeah, so to keep the title alive, Farfu must outscore Fair Moto by at least 4 points, at the very least, because obviously it's 15 points for a win, 1 point for a fastest lap, so there's 48 points still on offer here, and Fair Moto has a 37-point gap. So, the drivers are just about to line up. We should be underway with the Azerbaijan Grand Prix any second now. Yes, there we go. Okay, so we should be underway in... Once we have the lights, we have 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And it is go, go, go. We're underway here at Azerbaijan. Shaky stuff from everyone trying to get traction down. I think is that Brad SR trying to challenge Botched Gerbil around the inside there. I think, and Fair Moto very nearly hit the wall. There's a Red Bull into the wall in the background, I can see, as... Oh, I think Brad has got... No, he's into the wall, and there's contact with Gerbil as well. There's a chaotic start to Renault into the wall as well. There's a Red Bull falling down the field.
There's a lot of 5-second penalties being given out as well.
Oh, yeah, severe collision for Prix with Leclerc 16. Virtual safety car already deployed. It's been a chaotic start to the IRL Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Ignore the Haas drivers. They should not be leading this race. It is actually Brad SR leading, but surely must have damaged that front wing. He hit the wall pretty hard. I can't see any. We know that Bots Gerbil definitely is missing a right end plate.
So Barnaby's missing a left end plate, is it? Yep, left end plate. I was about to say before the VSC, he had actually made a really good start, jumped up 4 places, and then just went in too deep and hit the wall at turn 3.
That's unfortunate. Now, Farfu, interestingly, has managed to jump Fairmoto, who had a bit of a shaky start, as I said, very nearly into the wall at turn 1. So Farfu is now up to P3. As it stands, though, Fairmoto, I think, would still win the title if it were to stay like this. Obviously, long way to go, because Bots Gerbil would need to outscore him by 14 points if Farfu can't outscore him by 4. And we are racing once again. The virtual safety car has ended. Oh, I think Gerbil has just clapped the wall there. And I think Gerbil is struggling.
Yeah, he's missing an end plate.
Yeah, Gerbil's struggling with that damaged front wing. And I just wonder if Farfu might sense an opportunity to make this an Alpha 1-2. We've got chaos at the back. I think Mats has hit the wall in the Red Bull. And there's a Haas that's hit the wall as well. It's Peach who's having a torrid time down there. The Haas duo not enjoying these conditions as well. Meanwhile, IRL F1 Maniac has just passed Alpaca Carbon for 7th place. Smakes has just passed Daniel for 9th place as well. Meanwhile,
going for a move.
Yeah, up front, he's easing past, and Bots Gerbil, in fact, is coming into the pits as Brad SR sets the first flying lap of the race.
Moto's going to pit as well.
Oh, there's a few people coming in. Jamie's in as well. There's both Mercedes coming in. There's going to be a double stack, as I believe we've just had Barnaby hit the wall in pit entry. So the pit...
It's not really want to hit the wall, but...
Yeah. As I said, though, the Mercedes duo are having to double stack between each other, and it's wet tyres going on one of them, I think. Yes, Alpaca Carbon's putting the wet tyres on. So...
Jack, even after all of that, Moto's only dropped down to 6th.
Indeed, but he is a... Oh, no, hang on, wait for the... Oh, God.
Oh, hang on, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could be 8th.
Yeah, 8th place, yes. Once updates. Oh, there's been a collision between... I think it's... Scrub and... I think that's Bayside Snake, who have just had a collision at turn... 1, 2, 3, 4, I think it was.
Yeah, Scrub's missing his left end plate.
Yeah, so...
Snake. Oh, there you go, it's updated now. Snake's still got all of his wings, so I'm guessing maybe Scrub hit the wall?
Potentially. Now... Yeah, go on.
I was going to say maybe caught up with Snake at the same time?
Yes, possibly. So, at the moment, it is an Alpha Tauri 1-2. Ignore what the Lord was saying. There you go. Updates now. So, it's an Alpha Tauri 1-2. Brad SR leading Farfu. I mean, this is pretty much a dream scenario for the two of them. Then it's the Ferrari of IRL F1 Maniac, a fair way behind, actually, in P3, being chased by the racer boy of DZ Mates. DZ Mates, sorry, I'm going to have to get used to that.
Yeah, I want to say GG as well. I wonder if Brad SR is going to fight this one, or he's just going to let his teammate get on with it.
Well, he knows the situation, and Farfu is putting him under pressure. Fastest lap goes to him, 159, but then IRL F1 Maniac, 158.7, who goes even faster. Yellow flag, it's a Mercedes of Alpaca Carbon, so clearly the wet tyres...
The wets were not...
Yeah, clearly the wet tyres not the answer right now. He has crashed at that difficult downhill corner. No, it's actually... No, it's Ericsson's Vault corner, my bad, I apologise.
Yeah, just, turn 14, I think it is.
Virtual safety car's out again.
I know the feeling of that happening. I know all too well. That happened to me on Saturday.
Smully and Jamie back into the pits. Looks as though these drivers are struggling with these wet conditions.
Yeah, there's a lot of wing change. I wonder if they'll have enough wings at the end of the race to keep putting them on.
We'll have to wait and see, of course. I don't think there is actually a limit on how many changes you can make.
Luckily, it's a game, and I don't think there's.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Haas and Red Bull will be too pleased if they kept coming in at that rate of knots.
No.
So, AlphaTauri 1-2 then. Brad SR leads Farfu. Remember, Farfu really needs the victory here, especially with his title contender, Bearmoto, down in 8th position. As if it stands
it's
now...
a dream scenario, actually.
Yeah, so it would be 12 points for second place. It would be 3 points. So as it stands, the title would go on to, I believe the next race is Russia. After this, yes, it is. So if it stopped now, the title would go on to Russia. But I'm sure Farfu would really like those extra 3 points that first place would give. Of course, it's 15 points for the win, 12 points for second. But there's another crash. I think it's the Haas again. It's Peach again has crashed in Sector 2.
He's not binned it completely though. He's still going.
Yes, fortunately now AlphaTauri chasing down, but nowhere near close enough. Of course, there's no DRS in the wet, so overtaking. I mean, it's still very possible here, but definitely not as easy.
Just switched on board a gerbil and it looked like he's like the wall.
Yeah, with Fair Moto behind him, that could have been disastrous for Moto. As he's
Moto's going for a move.
Yeah, going down the inside, side by side action between the two of them.
Gerbil's not making it easy though. He is trying to let him know he's still there.
Yeah, and they've got the Mercedes of DXT Jojo behind. Side by side, are we going into turn 1 then? Yes, we are, but I think Fairmoto has the advantage. Ooh, bit of lag there from Gerbil, and he's got the Mercedes right behind him as well.
Ooh,
literally pushing him around the corner almost. I think Gerbil is struggling in these conditions, you know. Makes you wonder, maybe he had a dry setup on for that pole time.
Yeah, I was wondering actually, how many people have sacrificed track position? Oh, there goes the Mercedes.
Yeah, and we've got a retirement in the pit lane. It's Jamie 29. As Jojo... Oh, contact between the Mercedes and Alpha. Ooh.
Clean racing in the end, but yeah, well banging.
That could have ended in tears for both of them. But fortunately not, as the Mercedes moves up to 8th. Fairmoto now up to 7th, so that's an extra 1 point. 4 points for 7th place finish. So...
Carbon's just come on the chat just to say you had to try them wets. The inters were really bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, you of all people know about taking a risk on wet tyres, having done that in a previous race we've been to, so you can understand
when you've got to make the stop, sometimes you just got to go for it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Fairmoto is just past Scrub for P6, and he's now looking at a move on Bayside Snake. Oh my god, that is not normally an overtaking spot, but he's done it. As Jojo's past Scrub as well. Oh, as does... Oh, I think Scrub's gone into the wall there. I wonder if there was some... And in fact, Jojo has just let Box Gerbil go. So I wonder...
just set the fastest lap of the race.
That's RSF1 Maniac in P3.
Again. Just trading fastest laps, the two of them.
Yeah, so the AlphaTauri guys have got to watch out for that Ferrari. He's looking very nippy in these conditions, so if they are going to make a decision on who's going to be leading, they need to make it now. Meanwhile, Bayside Snake under pressure from Botch Gerbil. Is the AlphaTauri going to get past?
At the moment.
Well, he's recovering one here though, as he goes back up to P6, and Snake has also lost position to Jojo. The Bayside Snake seems to be struggling in these conditions. Perhaps we'd be hoping he really rather was Bayside than here right now.
Yeah, I don't think he quite likes the water.
No. Well, I guess he's not a water snake, so I suppose that's to be expected.
I was going to set myself up for that one, you know.
You did indeed, you did indeed. So
what I would be saying though is if I was far through right now, I'd be on the party chat or whatever to my teammates saying you need to let me go because Maniac is closing quite quickly. And
Fairmoto is starting to make up the positions. He's now P5, which is worth 6 points. I think the title...
a lot of space as well.
Yeah, the title would still not be concluded here because at this stage, Farfu would still be outscoring Fairmoto by 6 points. But it has to be said, the top 4 have a huge advantage over the rest of the field. 20 seconds, the gap between...
I think Farfu's almost got a pit stop actually.
Yeah, very nearly over Fairmoto. Yeah, so yeah, it's the two racing points separated by 20.8 seconds, P4 and P5. But the AlphaTauri boys have a decision to make, and they need to make it quick because RSF1 Maniac is closing in on them quite rapidly. He's looking very, very handy in these conditions. Well,
Radisar's actually pulled out quite a bit on this lap as well, actually.
Indeed. He asked me to get his good side, and I'll tell you what, he's definitely given me a lot of good sides for him to, for me to get. He's doing a very good job at the moment.
I think he looks the one most comfortable out there, to be honest.
He does indeed. So, lap 6 then. Still AlphaTauri 1-2. Radisar leading Farfu 11. IRL F1 Maniac is pressuring them. As fast as that now, though, goes to Fair Motor, but it's immediately taken back by Bot's Gerbil. So it looks like he does have some pace when he can unlock it, but he just seems a little bit unsure in these conditions.
Oh, that was a good first 6 laps.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the next 20.
I know. I think it's calmed down a little bit now, but we still have some close battles. Jojo's still chasing Bot's Gerbil. We've got Scrubs and Bayside Snakes battling over P8 and P9.
I will say, RSF Maniac has used more ERS in the front too, so I wonder if that's how he's been getting getting all these lap times in.
Potentially, and he is dropping back a little bit now. The gap's now increased back up to 3 seconds. It was about 2.7, 2.8, so that is potentially a reason, yeah. And maybe now he's had to back off the ERS. We've got yellow flag, sector 1. It's the Haas of Smolly. The Haas duo just not enjoying these conditions at all, as they are now down in 13th and 14th, only ahead of Barnaby, who has already made it clear he does not like this track, and that was in the dry. So
no, but I mean, it's one of those now where
P6.
even if you...
Has there been a issue between Bot's Gerbil and DXT Jojo? And meanwhile, Daniel also losing P10, the final point to Leclerc in the other Ferrari. I just want to go back on board with Bot's Gerbil. Has he knocked the wall somewhere? I just want to have a look at that front wing if I can.
Give you the correct camera angle.
Yeah, it would help.
I think he's missing his right end plate.
Yes, he is. So I wonder if that was maybe at Castle and that's where Jojo got the move done. Either way, Jojo now moves up into P6. He's the lone Mercedes out there at the moment. Alpaca Carbon taking the gamble on the wet tyres that did not pay off for the Mercedes. So unfortunately, it's left Jojo with a lot of work to do to uphold the German outfit's honour.
Yeah. I don't know where to start with. He's all over the place, isn't it? I will say one thing though.
As we've got a pit stop, got Gerbil in.
Yeah, Gerbil in. He's going to get out wing changed. I wonder if now he might think about going all the way to the... I mean, I don't know how... I haven't done a wet race here actually, so I don't know how long the inters will last. I'd probably say we'll do a one stop at least, I think, just for safety. But yeah, I will say that Fairmoto's not really closing in on his teammate as much as he'd like to.
Meanwhile, side by side, Scrub and Bayside Snake. Bayside trying to get back past the McLaren and does so. Up into P7. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No. You know, if there's a move, you go for it. I will say one thing actually. It just seems to be 1 minute and that one driver's quick, and the next minute that other driver's quicker.
I know.
Snake was losing about 3 positions in the last 4 laps, and he's gained a position back on Scrub. So,
yeah, Bayside those two seem to be evenly matched when they've got the Ferrari of the Clerc closing in on them, and the Renault of Daniel as well. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes for those 4 drivers. Could be an interesting battle for the points positions with Max Wenz.
A lot closer this time down the straight. Actually, he might be able to get him moved.
Back on board then with the race.
Overtake.
With the AlphaTauri race leaders, Brad SR still leading Farfu. Farfu getting closer and closer, but still not close enough. Obviously, they are teammates. As we've got a yellow flag. It's the Haas of Peach.
At Castle.
Yeah. Has been
I had flashbacks then.
Oh yeah, so have I. Don't worry. I think you're not a racer on this game, and if you haven't been at Castle. While Leclerc has easily dispatched of Scrub for P8. Meanwhile, Daniel has also lost a position to Mats Wenz.
Yeah, it's Jojo fastest lap now, 156.8. That's quite.
And he's just passed Fair Moto for P5. So the Mercedes
he's flying at the moment.
Flying at the moment. And the championship leader had no answer for him. Drops down to P6, and that could be a crucial point lost there if it stays this way, of course. Because now that's only 5 points he'll be scoring now, rather than 6.
Yeah.
So interesting to see if he can put the pressure back on Jojo to try and get that point back. As Gerbil, as Daniel actually, the Renault is into the pit, so must have had a front wing damage.
Again.
Yeah. That promotes Gerbil back to 11th. It definitely seems to be a case of if you can keep it on the road and keep it accident free, you're definitely going to be benefiting. So far, the top 4 are the only ones who have managed that. Yellow flag.
Oh, there's Barnaby has crashed. Where is that?
It's at the chicane, and it's a safety car deployed. Now this really gives a chance for the guys who have dropped off of the pace. The guys like Jojo and Fairmoto, Bayside Snake, as now the field will be completely neutralised, and I just wonder if Farfu and Brad might regret not doing the switcheroo sooner, because now they can't.
Yeah, that brings Fairmoto back into play. But I'd say look at DX Jojo though. You know, he is actually probably the quickest at the moment. I'd say he looking at the gap between him and Fairmoto just for the safety car, he pulled out 1.8 seconds. So
Farfu doesn't pit. Brad has elected to pit. Us has RSF1 Maniac. DZ Mates is into the pits as well. XRL Asda, what's her name, in the chat saying, wait, are you guys on Xbox now? IRL do leagues on every format that possible. There's 1 league on the PC, there's 2 on the Xbox, and I think there's 5 on the PlayStation. So yeah, they're expanding and they're doing leagues on every format possible. So no matter what position, what console you play on, the Invictus Racing League will be able to accommodate you. So do go sign up. Website obviously invictusracingleague.com. You'll see it on the other screens. For now, obviously, we're keeping a focus on the action as Jojo and Moto in the pits as well. As is Bayside's in. Yeah, nothing to lose really. I mean, they're definitely not going to lose a position as Bayside and Leclerc and Scrub and Mats are into the pits as well. Bots Gerbil, though, having made a pit stop earlier,
jumped up to 7th.
Yeah, so obviously felt no need to pit as he'd only recently just come in. So
yeah, his tyres are already a lap old actually. Yeah. One thing I was going to say before the safety car came out, actually, safety car rather answer my question, is that even if at the moment you were sat in P14 or P13, you know, like the 2 Hasses, you're having a terrible race so far, you might as well carry on going. You never know what's going to happen.
Absolutely, especially at a
4
track
more
like
cars
this.
drop out and you're going to get a point.
Well, we've already seen just how chaotic it can be here with wings going everywhere, incidents going on all over the places. What's going on with Scrubs and Daniel? Not quite sure what was going on there, but Scrubs takes P11. Perhaps a difference in opinion over who had track position there, but it is the McLaren takes it. This also gives a chance for the Haas boys to maybe, you know, get some recovery, because despite the issues they've had, they are crucially still going, as you said.
I'm rooting for both of them today. I want to see them get a point for their constructor.
Yeah,
as much as we are
impartial. They are. It should be said, of course, the Haas team yet to get off the mark, still on 0 points.
We love an underdog.
Yeah, so we will. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So we would. You know what? Yeah, let's see if Smully and Peach can get a Haas into the points, and yeah, we're not even half distance yet, so still anything could happen. But
did you also say that it was going to dry out?
It said the rain was going to ease off. They didn't specify if it was going to go into dries.
See if it does go to dries. How many people got some softs left, or maybe medium? Beastie's just said it was a mental first 8 laps. Loving it.
Oh yeah, thank you very much, Beastie and UFC, a good friend of mine, both in real life and in the racing community, and obviously a guy that we know very well from our league racing. Thank you very much for being along with us, Beastie. So yeah, very good first few laps. And the safety
one of my rivals on a Friday.
Yes, indeed he is, and he's actually my team owner in another league that we run in. So Beastie, good to have you with us, though. And yeah, the safety car is definitely going to make it very interesting, I think, for the second half of the race. It might be a little bit more than a half as well, because it completely neutralises the field. Jojo is just coming back onto the back of DZ Mates.
Yeah, the field is still very widely spread. I wonder if it'll stay out another lap or will go in, because sometimes it does just go in, and sometimes it will wait until everyone's caught up. So it'll be interesting to see how that happens. What is also interesting is Farfu's not pit.
He hasn't indeed, so he's elected to try and extend his gap. Now the question is, of course, could everyone else get to the end? Like, they would be doing 16 fast laps on their tyres if the safety car would come in this lap, of course. Could they get them to the end, or is it a gamble?
I don't know, because sometimes certain tracks, the inters will last quite a while, and others they don't. So it's going to be an interesting one. I have no experience in the wet here. I mean, well, in this game, so this is new. I like this.
I do like it as well. Yeah, like I said, me and you had no idea who any of these races are coming into this, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, they are putting on a very good show. We've got MJ Coop, who is one of the guys in the Invictus Racing League. He's the actual social manager, I believe, and he has just said he's enjoying the coverage, which is good to hear. I'd like to think that's a good sign that hopefully we're doing something right.
Yeah, I like to think our chemistry's working.
I did say that was something we would have since we're good mates, obviously. So yeah, I'd like to think we're doing a good job.
We generally agree on most things racing anyway. So the only thing we don't agree on Alex Albon, but
yes, you're very critical of him. I try and defend him, even if it is getting harder and harder to do. Yes,
one of us is going to be right.
Yeah. I think we'll probably find out after this weekend, but so we'll have to stay. Well,
the safety car has stayed out, which means I think it'll come in this next lap.
Yeah, probably the next lap. This allows Bayside Snake, Leclerc, Matt Wens, Scrub, and Daniel, and the two Hasses. They should get onto the back of this train by the time it goes in. So it should be a full train then. Completely neutralised field, and there's only one man who has not pitted on the safety car. He's the man who's leading, Farfu. The question is that a bold strategy call, or is it a big mistake?
I think
the problem is, of course, he would have had to double stack behind Brad no matter what. Yeah. So he may have been left no choice.
I was going to say, I think maybe he's gone for a gamble a little bit in that. The way the race has gone ahead so far, you know, all the action, the wall crashes, all the pit stops, the VSCs. I wonder if he's taking a gamble on another safety car later on, where he can just get in and get that wing change, or not that wing change, the tyre change, and not suffer.
Potentially, very potentially. We'll have, like I said, it really comes down to whether or not the guys who did pit can they make those inters last the end of the race. If they can't, then Farfu has not really lost anything. If they can, he's going to have a lot to do. Let's just put it that way. But I think we should be finding out soon.
Should see safety car in this lap. Expect that two Haas is just 2 corners away now.
And indeed it is. Safety car in this lap then. So Farfu becomes the effective safety car for the rest of the field. So it's on his prerogative when to go. Obviously he has to wait for... He can't pass the safety car. He has to make sure the safety car's in the pits before he crosses the pit lane line. But by that token as well, no one can overtake until we reach that pit lane line. And the safety car is just coming down the straight. I think he'll be peeling into the pits now, as you can see on the map.
Yeah, so I wonder if Farfu's going to try and back the pack up as much as possible.
Oh, he's gone. Oh, he's gone. Oh, very nearly wobbled into the wall as he went. And I wonder if Brad SR might be thinking...
Brad SR might get him now.
But are they past the pit lane? I think they are now, so I think it's a legal overtake now. No, he backs out of it. So perhaps it wasn't quite legal. Side by side, RSF1 Maniac just behind. There. Yeah, big Constantina, DJ mates there. And then we've got Jojo and Fairmoto. We've got... I think there's been a collision between Leclerc and Bayside Snake. They're dropped down to 13th and 14th. Is there damage? There's definitely damage on the Ferrari. Yep, Leclerc has damage on his left end plate in that Ferrari. So, Farfu just hangs...
78 just gone past Scrubs, I think. Yeah, he's got moved down.
Yep, so the Haas into the points then, up into 10th place, ahead of Scrub. So could this be the day that Haas finally score a point in the F2 League? We'll have to wait and see. Of course, still a long way to go. We're not even at half race distance yet.
Farfu's finally got his car under control. He needs to just ease away from Brad SR a little bit.
if he can, of course. Obviously, he's on 9-lap older intermediate tyres, so what kind of pace will he have? And he's also got the Ferrari of IRL F1 Maniac, who has now been able to close up on them, thanks to the safety car, although I think he took the castle a little gingerly there. That's just being careful.
He just dropped off.
BC in the chat giving his support to the AlphaTauri boys. He is, of course, the AlphaTauri team owner in the F1 XL League on Sundays, so he will definitely be rooting for his fellow AlphaTauri Scuderia.
Oh, you know, if you go by that measure, I'd be supporting the Mercedes.
So your money's on Jojo, who, I tell you what, he's having a look at DZ Mates. Jojo is looking very good in these conditions, it has to be said, and Mates, not so much. Has to back off a little bit. And I think we could see an overtake here as DZ Mates.
For it.
No defence, really.
Nothing he can do.
Oh, and I wonder if Jojo... Oh, there's contact between those... Oh, the Racing Points nearly came together, and Bots Gerbil's going to take it, and there's damage.
Moto's in the pit.
And as his mates, it's all gone horribly wrong for Racing Point then. Because there is a double stack going on here. They must have both got damage from somewhere.
That's both Hasses into the points now.
It is.
4 cars into the pit stop. That
yeah, both Racing Points, Leclerc and Bayside Snake. So Peach now moves up to 8th, Scrub's up to 9th, Smully's up to 10th, and is pressuring the McLaren. And I tell you what, that is music to the ears of Farfu, I'm sure, because he hears his championship rival having to double stack, and will now come out of this race dead last in 14th place and far away from a points finish. So if it stays as it now, Farfu would close in on...
Closing quite a bit.
Their moto, yeah. So the gap would go from 37 points down to 22. Obviously, barring... we don't know what the fastest lap is yet either, but...
Yeah.
Oh, he's just clipped the wall there, though. Farfu just clipped the wall.
No, he got away with that.
Oh, careful, Farfu. You do not want to be making an error now. This is about the right time for a normal intermediate pit stop, so I wonder if he might make a mandatory pit stop now. He would come out well ahead. Well, I don't think a no stop is possible here. It is legal in wet conditions.
I don't think you could do it.
No.
But how this track is on rear tyres, I just don't think it's possible.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. What will Farfu do? Who has to stop eventually, surely. Is he going to come in this lap?
I wonder if Brad SR is just holding back a little bit, just to give his teammate
no pit stop yet.
Oh, Farfu sets the fastest lap of the race, actually. His tyres have still got something left.
Oh, but then DXT Jojo takes that right off of him. The Mercedes looking very, very comfortable in these conditions.
It could be really comfortable.
Yeah, and him and IRL F1 Maniac could be a thorn in the side of the AlphaTauri Scuderia in their quest for a 1-2 finish. Bots Gerbil
not back of him is Gerbil.
Yeah, not far behind. The tyres a little bit more worn, but not so much. Yellow flag. Oh, it's the Haas of Smully into the wall. He is on. Yes, I think so. I can see a lot of damage on the left side. That's unfortunate for Smully. So Haas's hopes now rest on Peach, currently in 8th place. And they've got a nice 3-second gap to Scrub now, so the paces definitely seem to be there for him.
Looking a bit more confident, I think, and I think that's the one thing, the damp conditions that I find. In intermediate conditions, as much as I say I hate the wet weather, intermediate conditions I noticed that if you can get 5 or 6 consistent laps in, you'll notice your times will just drop.
Yes, they will indeed. It's just...
You'll find the right lines.
Yeah, it's all about finding a rhythm, especially in the wet, and this is a track where you need a good rhythm through the sectors and, of course, the final chicane. While Jojo now... Oh, I thought he was going straight into the back of IRL F1 Maniac, but he doesn't do so, just about on the brakes in time.
Farfu is currently flying. 1.7 second gap now.
Yeah, now that is interesting, but Jojo is flying as well.
9 lap older tyres, rather.
He's looking very comfortable in these conditions as the Mercedes. IRL F1 Maniac a little less so. Under some serious pressure. Yellow flag. It is another... Is it?
Oh,
no, it's...
Farfu.
Farfu, wow. That's incredible that he's still got that. It's incredible he's still got that kind of pace on these tyres.
Yeah, no wonder he's in the title fight, because he's still absolutely flying.
He is indeed. Just having a look at the standings. So Farfu's had some good results. He's had 4 podiums, including a win at Hungary. He's had second place.
Last time's winner, so
yeah. So he won last time out of Hungary. He's had a second place at Austria, Monaco, and Belgium. So definitely a good race, and has only had 2 non-points finishes, and they were DNSs. So, so he's yet to actually.
Wonder how much closer this would be if he made those races.
Indeed,
Snake is now up to 13th because Smully's
in the pits. So yeah, the damage too much for him to bear.
Just looking at the tyres, a lot of the drivers have got 5 to 6 lap old tyres, 5 to 7 lap old tyres. I wonder if they can go to the end.
That's what I was saying earlier. Farfu needs to hope that they can't. But looking at how well he's managing it, that might not actually be a good thing in the end, because it's a sign that perhaps the others can manage those tyres just as well, and that's why he's having to push like hell to try and get out as high as he can. And yeah, Coop in the chat saying, Coop in the chat saying surely the AlphaTauri has to pick, and and he's just had a big wobble onto the back straight. So I think the grip is starting to fade away. And
I wonder if he's just trying to push just to try and get a gap.
It could be that. It could be that. And I think surely he's going to have to accept defeat and come in. But no.
I think. Yeah,
still no pit stop for Farfu. Wonder if he's maybe hoping for another safety car as well. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. It doesn't look like it's going to get dry in time at all. So
no.
There's 10 laps left. So it's going to stop raining in the next 2 laps. So I don't see.
Yellow flags, virtual safety car deployed. Who was that? That's Bayside. Bayside is out at it's Ericsson's fault corner, I believe. The long left-hander, yes it is.
I'm guessing it was Ericsson's fault, man.
I guess it must have been. Virtual safety car has been deployed, so not what Farfu wanted. I think he wanted the real thing.
Yeah, especially when
he's just passed it as well. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we can see it there. A big crash. Actually a bit further along from where was Ericsson's fault, but even so.
I think still Ericsson's. Yeah, I'm quite upset at Bayside Snake's gone out because I loved his name.
Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, that's a great name. I do like Bayside Snake's name. Just not looking at home in these wet conditions on the Azerbaijan racetrack. I'll tell you what.
Many are, to be fair.
Tell you what, Jojo's not had a good safety car restart. Maniac, on the other hand, he's right behind the AlphaTauri now. He's had a good BSC restart there.
It all looks like a cork in a bottle almost. You think one of them's just going to get past and then just go.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
It's getting past.
That's the closest battle on track at the moment. The rest of the field fairly split out at the moment. So yeah, that gap between Maniac and Brad.
A bit unnoticed actually. Is that Red Bull of Matt's?
Yeah,
he's actually a P6. We saw that he had 2 spins on the
formation lap. Yeah,
got a bit out of shape on the first couple of laps. Let's manage to carry on and get himself up to P6.
Yeah, tell you what, Maniac is right behind Brad SR. He's had a better go through that chicane. I wonder if Brad is maybe trying to hold Maniac up here for Farfu.
He's got a lot of straight line speed. I wonder if he's gone for
Farfu's still not into the pits.
That's interesting because Maniac couldn't get close.
No.
Despite the slipstream and
obviously
having the better exit.
But of course, no DRS in these conditions. You get the sense if there had been DRS, you think Maniac probably would have been past there. But he's still putting massive pressure on that AlphaTauri.
He's got so much straight line speed.
Yeah, so I wonder if that is a dry setup. I tell you what, if it is a dry setup, he's been doing fantastically on it.
Yeah, his speed has been incredible. He's not been lighting up the silent screens, but he's still P6.
Meanwhile, Matt, you were just mentioning him now. He is starting to come under a little bit of pressure from Daniel in P7 in the Renault. Daniel closing in. Obviously, he's had a bit of a rocky race. You don't. Yeah, that's my job. You leave me alone.
I was gonna say, I don't have that power. It's your
yeah, it's my. I'm usually the one that commentator curses people. But yeah, don't go there.
Where's Trolled this race?
Trolled? I don't know.
For those of you who don't understand, it was a very funny thing that happened in our Singapore race last year.
Yes. Let's just say it was a very angry Irishman that was not happy with a guy called Trolders. Oh no! The Haas of Peage is into the barrier at Castle. Oh no! Has he got damage?
Well.
Yeah, look, his wing's completely gone. That's not just damage. That's so gutting because he was carrying the hopes of Haas on his shoulders, and maybe the pressure just got to him there. And he's into the wall! Oh, big crash! I think tried to take that corner way too quickly.
Is that going to be a safety car?
It could be. Is it though? Doesn't look. It should be a safety car by all rights.
It should be at least something.
Well, either way, it looks as though Farfu is.
I think the other hat has gone out as well.
Well, Farfu's coming into the pits one way or another. Into the pits he comes as DX sets the fast lap and is side by side with RS F1 Maniac. This is for P2 now. RS just hanging on.
Side by side still though.
Oh, he dives up the inside. Very bold move. Don't put him in the wall. Oh.
Just enough respect left there, and I think.
Just enough, yeah.
Yeah, Maniac's not got enough ERS to get back at him.
And I think Jojo has got the move done. Oh, but look, Brad's out! Brad is out! Brad has crashed! Turn 3!
Oh, it was going so well for AlphaTauri.
Virtual safety car deployed. Oh, he was running such a good race as well, but he's made one mistake. I know what it's like making a mistake there. I've done it myself in a previous league race. That is gutting for Brad. He was on for such a good result. And this is starting to become a race of attrition. We started with 17. We only have 11 cars left.
Yeah, like I said, you just finish the race, you will end up with a point.
Safety cars, virtual safety cars, and there's contact between Jojo and Maniac. I think Maniac got a better VSC restart. Oh, and a massive collision at the castle.
Wing damage.
Indeed.
That's box gerbil
back into the lead of this race. The man who started on pole.
Pit, which he has to, surely.
Yeah, well.
It's all coming off now, isn't it?
It's all kicking off. And once. Oh my god. I think Jojo is struggling. Yes, he is. As he goes, I think he's hit the wall. And he will have to come into the pits. His pace looks so good as well. He will be absolutely devastated. I think Maniac will be just as devastated. He got a better. I saw what happened. Maniac got a better VSC restart, but it was coming up towards Castle, and you have to be absolutely insane to try and move there. It's just not an overtaking spot.
No room.
There's just no room as Matt Wenz is now up into P2. The Red Bull driver suddenly is in a podium position, as is Daniel, who was nowhere near that. Farfu's now back up into P4. Yeah, as both the two men who are looking like contenders for the win here have to pit and will drop right down the order.
Still only P10.
That could change soon enough, though. It depends on where these guys are coming out. Here comes Fairmoto, scoring 1 point at the moment.
Yeah, he'll come up behind them.
Yes, he will, and they will, of course, be on fresh tyres. So
Jojo has had pace here, so I don't know. We like this, don't we?
Yeah, I'm really liking this. This is a fantastic Azerbaijan Grand Prix, even if it's absolutely chaotic. I sure hope I'm not commentating cursing.
Fastest first sector, so yeah, he's absolutely flying on these new tyres. And funnily enough, he's only what? Hang on.
Let's have a look at the gap.
8 seconds off the lead.
8.3 seconds, yeah. His first target, though, he's got to get past the Renault of Daniel, 8D. The yellow flag sector 3, it's Smully, I think, who I believe has hit the wall. Importantly, still going.
Maybe just took it a bit slowly, maybe nearly lost it.
Yeah, possibly. He's 50 seconds off of 10th place, so... But...
With how it's keep it clean.
Yeah, if you can keep going, if another retirement happens, which at the moment is looking likely. Speaking of which, we've got a McLaren in the wall. It's Scrub, who's lost it. He's down in P9 now. That moves Fairmoto up into P9. So big wing damage on that McLaren. Oh,
and it looks like a boat to steer.
It does indeed.
He might still be able to keep the position from Smully, but I couldn't even go out to the pit.
Well, yeah, that's it, exactly. As Farfu is right behind, and fastest lap goes to Farfu. That could be an important...
a whole second out of the leader as well.
Could be an important point, because obviously you get a point for fastest lap, so he needs as many points as he can get at the moment, because it would now be a 21-point gap.
All over the back of Daniels. I think you might go for a move here.
Although that is, of course, if Fairmotor didn't score points, and Daniel, I think he wanted none of that. Apologies for language. I don't blame him there. I don't think he wanted any of that. He just thought, nope, you go on, mate. I'm doing my own thing. Unless he wants to try and see if he can use him to get up to Mats, maybe. Potentially, very potentially, as Mats is indeed the next target.
Already.
Yeah, I think it's just Farfu is just so on the pace today. I think Daniel is just like, I'm not getting in your way, son. I'm doing my own thing. And Farfu is already within a second of Mats. Mats wins.
Yeah, Scrubs is in then. I think you've come out just ahead of Smully.
Yeah, we close between those two for the final point, and that will be an important point for Haas if Smully can keep going. Obviously, a long way to go yet. Still 6 laps to go after this one.
Final corners. Well, let's say final corners. The corners in the wet, not so much in the dry.
Yes, very much so.
Farfu now just 6.6 off the lead. He's right on the back of Mats as well.
Indeed, I think he's going to be passing this Red Bull fairly. I wonder if Mats probably won't want any part of him either, just like Daniel didn't want any part of him.
Right, he's just so committed in those 2 corners.
He is so committed, and look at the speed he's carrying. Mats has no chance here, and yeah, there you go. Into P2 then for...
There's nothing you can do for that. He's got a lot of clear air as well.
So, as it stands, title will not be decided today. Fairmoto only in P9, Farfu currently P2. 12 points plus fastest lap, 13 points. Oh, as Daniel's in the pits. So maybe damage on that Renault. And that could give Fairmoto a couple more points here.
He's still in the pit lane, he's not moving. Doesn't look like he's doing a wing change.
Oh, he's just coming through out the pits now. Here comes Fairmoto.
I wonder if he had to serve a 5-second penalty.
Oh, potentially. So here comes Fairmoto. P9 for now. I think he's going to stay there for now.
Yeah, just comes out ahead of Leclerc. Only just, actually.
Yeah, so Leclerc. So Ferrari's still scoring double points, and I tell you what, in the constructors battle that could be important, because obviously AlphaTauri, Racing Point and Ferrari in a deadlocked constructor fight. AlphaTauri's
only having 1 car finishing now,
but potentially finishes. Jojo's crashed at turn 3, the same corner that caught Brad SR out. It's caught DXT Jojo out, and he's got more damage on that Mercedes. He was looking like a potential race winner, and I tell you what, something I've just noticed: the rain has stopped. There's no rain. Oh, and he just can't brake properly. So the rain is...
That could be a case of who decides to brave it and who stays.
Yeah, because we've got 5 laps to go after this one. So who would dare put on a set of soft tyres? That's the question.
I think almost at the end of the next lap he might have to, because it just looks like it's drying out very quickly already.
Indeed. So Fairmoto now 8th place, so that's 3 points he'll be scoring compared to 13 for Farfu. So it would therefore be 105 playing 78, I believe, at that point. So Farfu really desperately needs this win, I think. Especially as...
I mean, I don't know if he's got the pace to get up to Gerbil and get past him. I know, get up to him, but I just don't think there's enough laps left. 5.5 seconds now with, what, 4 laps to go?
Yeah, I think so. And I tell you what, Fairmoto is slowly closing in on Leclerc, but meanwhile Leclerc is right behind the Renault of Daniel.
This is going to get spicy.
It is going to get spicy, and I just wonder if Fairmoto might make up a few more positions. I still don't think he'll do enough to claim the title today, because Farfu is looking... Oh, that being said, I've just noticed
Daniel's just made a mistake.
I've just noticed, though, Farfu has dropped right off, and that is why he's missing a left end plate on that AlphaTauri.
No.
He's finally made an error, and it's come at the worst possible time for the AlphaTauri driver. And into the pits comes DX, and it's soft tyres. Well, in his situation, may as well take the gamble. because he was having to come in anyway.
What you want to say to Farfu, but I think you're going to have to go for a set of softs. If he pits for a set of inters and it could become soft, he's going to have to make a second pit stop.
Exactly, it's a gamble he may well have to take, and this is so unfortunate for Farfu, who was looking very good for a very good result here. I mean, it could still happen, but I just wonder if it's starting to swing back in favour of the championship leader, as Daniel, he's struggling in these conditions. Leclerc's past him, and now Fairmoto all over him as well. I just wonder if that Renault has damage. Yes, on the right side, missing the right end plate. That's why he's struggling.
I'm really loving the drama here. 1 minute it looks like one driver's... Oh no, Farfu's staying out. I wonder if he's going to stay out for dries.
Yellow flag in Sector 1. It's Smully has lost it at Sector 1 and have to be careful because the race leader's coming up to lap him. He dutifully stays out of the way while Fairmoto has passed him before he even got to the chicane. I don't think it's quite...
There's not a lot of spray kicking up in Sector 1.
That being said, I'm looking on board with Jojo. He does not look happy on these tyres. I don't think it's soft tyres just yet. I think it's a little too early, and that's why Farfu is not pitting. Because I don't think it's time.
Move. There's no way he'd pit for another set of inters in this weather.
Yeah, it's just you can't pit for inters, but you've got to try and hold on until it becomes soft tyre time. Yeah. And I think at the moment second place is very much the best he can hope for, but he's got Matt Wenz behind him, pressuring him. Fairmoto's now up to 7th place. So obviously that will...
Farfu's got to keep his P2. He's got to.
He needs to keep the championship alive, because it will be 13 points, obviously barring a fastest lap change. In P7, Fairmoto will be scoring 4, so 8 points difference. So obviously the title will not be decided, because as long as Farfu can outscore Fairmoto by 4 points. We got a yellow flag. It's Smully, who is just not enjoying these conditions at all, staying out of the way, I think, of DJ Mates. Yes, he is.
Luckily, he goes to the lapped car, but yeah, he's doing quite well actually by keeping the car relatively clean. Oh, Scrubs has just got past Jojo.
Yeah, well, if that's a sign that the softs aren't working. Well, there it is. Smully's is going very slowly. I think he's hit the wall again. He's out, in fact. He's out. He's crashed at the final chicane. So we officially have 10 drivers left.
Yeah, I don't think...
And unfortunately, Haas will remain on 0 points with only 2 races to go, despite a brave effort to try and keep going. So unfortunately, 0 points.
Gonna brave the pits.
There's only 3 laps to go. Would it even be worth it at this stage? Because there's so few laps left.
Yeah, I mean, if it dried on this lap,
potentially,
like, as you go into lap 24, then yeah, you would.
But if we look
anyone staying out, you catch.
But if we look at Jojo, he's just not. He's just not got pace on those softs. He's dropping right off of scrub. They're just not switching on, and I get the feeling, unless someone is very, very brave, I think this could be how it stands. But Fairmoto is now right on the back of Leclerc, and this would be a very crucial extra point for him here. Obviously, it's 5 points for P6, 4 points for P7. Yep.
Max has not climbed up to all over the back of Farfu. There's still only a 3-second gap.
And let's just have a look at... Oh, as I think I've just seen someone hit the wall. I'm not quite sure who it was as I was flicking up to Matt's. Just wondering... Yeah, he has damage as well. That'll be why he's not closing in on Farfu, because he's got damage as well on the right side. DRS is now enabled. Now, is anyone going to take the risk, though, with only 2 laps to go? Will anyone come into the pits? I think Botch could afford to.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I was Gerbil, I would, because you can at least count on the fact that those...
And into the pits he comes. So into the pits comes the Alfa Romeo.
Burn up in dry conditions. You'd lose more time than you would by staying out.
Yeah. So as it's...
Farfu going to go in there.
So as it stands, Botch Gerbil would be scoring the maximum 15 points to move up to 70. So he would jump down 23 for P3. So Farfu... Well, this is a gamble on Farfu's part, but it's one he probably has to take if you think about it. He needs to win.
6.5 seconds behind the leader.
With 2 laps to go. Now, can the Bots Gerbil make a recovery of recoveries to snatch the win back? His first target is the Racing Point of DZ Mates, who I'm sure will be told by Fair Moto, don't hold him up. Because I think Racing Point need the gerbil to really scurry up the field a little bit and try and get as many points as it can. And I'll tell you what, look at the pace difference as DZ Mates takes second away from Matt's Wens.
All over the back of them already.
Look at the difference in pace we have here as he's already thinking about a move, but just there's nowhere to pass here. The difference in grip, though, it can't be understated. I think we're
all over the back of Scrubs now as well.
I tell you what, we could have a grandstand finish here because Bots Gerbil is struggling to pass these two. But surely
on to the final lap.
Goes on to the left and takes P3 away from the Red Bull. Now can he? Now he's got to get past the Racing Point of DZ Mates.
He slowed the car down in time.
That would have been not a good way to end the Grand Prix when you've taken a gamble such as this. Jojo's in the pits again as well, presumably to fix damage, which is unfortunate.
Daniels is pitted for soft.
Taking the gamble, but he's so far behind Fair Moto. It'll be interesting to see if he can even catch him. But I don't think Mates is going to have any answer here for Bots Gerbil. As, yep, he roars into second place as we go on to the final lap then. We've got Farfu on intermediates. Now, and I tell you what, Bots Gerbil could take the fastest lap away from him here as well. But I think he could take more than that away.
1.5 seconds now.
I think he could take more than the fastest lap away from here because look at the rate he's catching him. He's already within DRS range.
He's got no defence.
Farfu's got nothing to give here. Oh, Breaker could get him out. Oh, Bots Gerbil just on the racing time as Fair Moto and Leclerc fighting over a very crucial P6 here as well. They're fighting hard over that P6 position. And yet, Bots Gerbil's got him. Farfu had no defence there.
He's got the fastest first sector.
Further back, Fair Moto. Anyway. He's going for the lunge on Leclerc for P6. Is Leclerc going to try a switch back?
Maniac's got to P4 and while all that's happened.
Fantastic fight going on here between Leclerc and Fair Moto. It's entering contact and Fair Moto's in the wall. Oh no, the championship leader's in the wall. Pushed into the wall by Leclerc, unfortunately. It was looking like a good fight, but unfortunately it's ended in contact between the two of them. Now the question is, can Daniel catch them because Fair Moto has damage on that front wing? But here comes the man.
Soft tyres.
Here comes the man who's going to take the victory. We've got a Red Bull in the wall at Castle as well. It's all kicking off at the end here. It's all going off here. But this man, despite a very shaky Grand Prix, is still going to convert pole into victory and a fastest lap most likely as well. So it could be the Grand Slam here for Bots Gerbil. Despite it not looking like that at one point, he comes across the line to take victory at Azerbaijan and sets the fastest lap, 1:47.1. Here comes Farfu across the line. He finishes P2 with a bold call.
I don't think he'll be too displeased with that.
No, I don't think he will be considering the circumstances. DZ Mates takes P3. I think he'll be happy with that one as well. I believe that's his first podium. Yes, it is. His highest finish before this was 10th place at Monaco and Abu Dhabi. So this is his first podium finish. Matt. Oh, Matt has lost it at the final corner. I think Fair Moto is going to hang on to P6 here. Yes, he is. I don't think Daniel can take that away from him.
I think that's 4 points.
That is 4 points. Yet 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's 5 points. 5 points for him. 12 points for Farfu, so 7 points. So Farfu will move on to 77. Fair Moto will move on to 107. So 30 points the gap with 32 points on offer. It will take a minor miracle, but Farfu is still in the fight. Just about.
Oh, what a race.
What a race we've had. Daniel finishes 8th. Who's going to take the final point between Jojo and Scrum?
Yeah, he's got that.
It could come down to penalties as well. We'll see if the penalty situation changes it. And indeed, and Jojo's taking the fastest lap point away from Gerbil as well.
By 2 seconds. Wow.
By 2 seconds, and it is 9th place for Scrubs then. Jojo finishes 8th. And the driver of the day, well, according to the game at least, is Leclerc 16.
Who would your driver of the day be?
Oh, that's a tough call to say. I think I'd have to give it to Farfu. I mean, Gerbil has driven a great race as well, but Farfu only made one mistake really throughout that whole race. By all rights,
a mistake that cost him, but I think I agree with you.
But I say what, DZ Mates is, his first podium as well. I think he deserves an honorary shout out as well. That's a great result by DZ Mates. Let's get them into the party so we can do some interviews. So
we've had more compliments on our lovely commentary.
That's very nice to hear. Thank you very much. So, just to confirm the result, so it is Botch Gerbil taking the victory from pole position. It was not as simple as that though. Farfu takes 2nd place. DZ Mates takes 3rd place in the final podium spot. RS F1 Maniac, solid race from him, finishes P4 and with his Ferrari team in P5 as well. Good haul of points for the Ferrari team as they aim to close the gap to Racing Point and Alpha Tauri, who obviously finished in the high points as well. Fair Motor, the championship leader, 6th. The title is not over just yet, but it's definitely looking as though it's swinging his way. Daniel finishes 7th. DXT Jojo, after looking very on form, finishes in P8, and Scrubs takes the the final person to. I think Mates might still get a point because I think he's crashing on the final lap. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, I don't know how it would work, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But he did finish. Still registered 10th. Smiley 11th. Brad SR, very unlucky for him to finish 12th. Peach 78 13th. Bayside Snake 14th in the DNF zones. Barnaby 15th. Jamie 29 now. Paco Carbon all failing to finish as well. So, well, what a race that was. And we do now have our podium. We got 2 of them in anyway.
2 of the 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
Farfu was here. Hang on.
Oh, yeah, try and get him in first. Well, while you try and get him back in, let's talk instead. Let's go first to our race winner, Botch Gerbil. Congratulations. That did not look easy by any rights, but congratulations on the victory.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it was definitely not an easy race, that's for sure. Really, everyone was struggling on the wets. Not an easy track for the wets, so very good to everyone who finished the race. Very tough race.
Very tough race indeed. It was obviously you had a few incidents yourself, but in the end, obviously, it was very incident packed, and in the end, you managed to really find your form towards the end to take a fairly convincing victory. So, how was just describe the race in your own words? Like how did you find it?
Yeah, I had an awful start into turn 2. I think Brad locked up and he just pushed me into the wall right there. I got some wing damage, so I had to pit right away. And then I had a couple other incidents, just stupid luck, and then hitting the wall. And no one really pitted for the softs at the end, and that was quite surprising. I had a lot of pace on them, and it was quite easy to get in front of those 3 guys again.
Yes, the softs did definitely switch on towards the end. Obviously, the only other person who really made them work was the man who finished 8th, Jojo, who took the fastest lap point away from you, sadly. So in terms of the drivers' standings, you will now move on to 70 points. You jump ahead of Dan23, who sadly couldn't be here today. Farfu ahead of you, claimed 12 points and moves up to 77. So 7 points separating you two. Sadly, I do believe you're now officially out of the title fight. But is your goal... Do you think you can still maybe catch Farfu if he doesn't have a good race in the next 2 races?
Yeah, it really depends on his performance and my performance too. Obviously, best of luck to him. But I'm going to be coming for that P2.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Well, speaking of which, the next Grand Prix, of course, only 2 races to go. The next one being the Russia Grand Prix at the Sochi Autodromo. How do you rate your chances at Russia? Do you think you've got a good chance there? It's obviously your second victory today. Do you think you can make it victory number 3 this season?
Yeah, obviously, of course, I hope to do well at Russia, but it's very penalty heavy. I'm not the best with track limits there, so definitely gonna have to do some practice before next week. But yeah, no, definitely gonna be coming out strong till the end.
Well, I do wish you all the best of luck, and I do hope you make it a very fun fight for P2 with Farfu. So congratulations on the win, and we'll see you next week at Russia.
Yes, thank you.
So we haven't been able to get Farfu back in.
No, I did try and invite him, but...
Right. Well, you keep trying on him, Madman. I'll move on to the man who finished in P3 and scored his first podium finish in the league. That being the Racing Point of DZ Mates. Your previous best finish was 10th place at Abu Dhabi and Monaco. So how does this compare in comparison, mates?
Yeah, it was a very good start for myself. I didn't have a good getaway, but I kept out of damage, unlike a lot. Obviously, I think most pitted lap 1 after, because obviously, for some reason, turn 2, everyone was just stopped still, and there's an absolute carnage right next to me. But yeah, I managed to get through unscathed. The safety car that came out didn't really help me out because I had a pit stop behind me. Without that safety car, and it probably would have helped me out in the long run. But obviously the safety car came out, meaning that I took the pit stop, which meant that at the end my tyres were absolutely squealing. I think across the line they're on like 89% rears, so I wasn't far off getting a puncture like Matt's did.
Yeah, not far off at all. It did look as though it was getting very tricky towards the end of those stints. So obviously you've been racing for Racing Point. You scored a couple of points finishes. This result will definitely help. Obviously, probably in the constructor fight, of course. You are in a very close fight with Alpha Tauri and Ferrari, who did also score very strongly as well. Just looking at the results, I think so. It was 10th and 6th for you guys. So that would be 10 points, I should say, and 5 points. So 15 points for Racing Point. It was 4th and 5th for Ferrari, so that'd be 14 points for them. And obviously 12 points. So I think you will slightly extend your gap in the constructor standings. But obviously it's still very much all to play for with the final 2 rounds. Is that sort of what you're hoping for, to really solidify Racing Point as the constructors champions?
Yeah, I mean, I joined the league quite late, and I know as an individual my players isn't up there with the rest of them, so I was hoping to get Keith that constructors that he deserves, as he's been. He's had a lot of teammates this season, and he deserves to have the constructors along with obviously he's in the lead for the drivers. So I was hoping to get him the constructors, but yeah, that's my main priority.
That's fair enough. So obviously, yeah, next race, of course, 2 races to go. Next race, of course, is Russia. I'll ask the same question I asked Botch, Gerbil. How do you rate your chances there? Do you think another podium is possible? Do you think high points at the very least, or what do you think?
I think I'll be hoping for like a top. I don't see me getting a podium again unless it rains, because I'm all right in the rain. But if it's dry, I think the highest I can aim for is maybe top 6. And like Botch said, I'm not very good with the track limits around Sochi, especially second.
Second corner, yeah. Oh, hello? Gone quiet all of a sudden.
Oh, my controller turned
We've all done it, don't worry.
Cutting edge
Yeah.
technology here.
Yeah, as I said, I'm sure I'll get done off penalties quite a lot, because a lot in this league are very good at staying away from them, and Sochi's very demanding for track limits. So I'll be trying my best to make sure that I stick to the track, and I'm prepared for next week.
Well, I do wish you the best of luck, and congratulations again on your first podium finish in the league. So congratulations on that, and yeah, best of luck in Russia next week.
Thank you.
Now, sadly, it doesn't look as though we're going to get Farfu in. Madman, I'm sure, has tried a couple of times to get him in, but unfortunately, it doesn't.
A lot of invites.
Yeah, maybe he's
All
just.
right, see you in a bit, fellas.
See you later, guys. See you later, so, mate. See you later. So, yeah, unfortunately, I think we are going to have to wrap it up there. We'll Madman, though, just one thing. I already said my driver of the day. I've given it to Farfu. Who would your driver of the day be today?
I think I'm going to give it to DZ Mates, actually. Now I think about it after the race, because he kept it clean, and, you know, this is his first podium, and I think, as you were saying, reading out the results, I've just had a look back at these previous results as well, to have only come with 10th place finishes before this, to again get a podium in a race that was chaotic, took tyres at 89% at the end, I think I've got to hand it to him, to be honest. That is...
Yeah, I could not agree more. I'm still going to stick by Farfu, but I think it's definitely close between those two for driver of the day, and they've both driven exceptionally well. Gerbil's definitely had a good race as well.
I think you can give it to almost any of the drivers that finished, I think, because it was just one of those
pretty
races.
much, yeah. Very much one of those attrition races. But that is all we have time for the Invictus Racing League. I tell you what, Madman, it's been a joy commentating on this, and I do hope I'll have you next week again as well.
Oh, I'm enjoying it. You know, I think I can't think of the words, but to a new partnership.
Yes, a toast to hopefully a futurist new partnership with the Invictus Racing League, and we will see you hopefully next week for the Russian Grand Prix round 11. The title has not been decided yet, but we could get that done next week. So make sure you tune in next week for the Russian Grand Prix. Good night, everybody.